Hey, what's going on, fellow money lovers? Instead of doing my normal video, I just got back from a huge convention. It was in Concord, North Carolina, and even if you're not into my normal stuff like collecting coins or banknotes, they had a ton of different stuff there that was outside of that. So if you like diamonds, gems, you like gold, silver, and then of course coins and banknotes, then you'll like this video. I'm going to tell you what was selling and what wasn't selling at that convention. So we'll get right into it. The first thing I saw, and I enjoyed definitely, since Morgan dollars are one of my favorites, was Morgan dollars were super strong. It didn't matter what year they were, and really from any grade, even raw ones that are ungraded, were selling all day long. There was over 150 vendors at this convention, and I would say easily 70-80% of them were wheeling and dealing in Morgan. So it shows that if you can get a good price on them, pick Morgan dollars up. They have always remained, probably people watching this that collect, you can comment, they remain just a really popular coin. They're 90% silver, and they just are great to collect. So Morgan dollars. If you're interested in like individual prices, then I won't bore you for like 38 minutes about Morgan dollar prices. You can go to my tons of different videos or go to my website, varietyerrors.com, and check all that stuff out for free where you can see the values of Morgans. The next thing was piece dollars were killing it. People were buying and selling piece dollars ungraded. I mean, I call them cherry picking baskets, but it's probably not the best name. But they had bins, baskets, regular just slot albums full of piece dollars. They were selling all day long. Even my dad, who's into silver stacking and stuff like that, but is not even a coin guy, bought at least $200 or $300 worth of piece dollars. Now I can tell you the price on those pretty steadily. There are a few different years of piece dollars, of course, so without getting into like crazy details, most of them were running either around melt value, or if they were in really good condition and not considered like a junk coin, they were selling in the $50 to like $75, $80 region, depending on raw condition. Graded ones, going off a gray sheet. So if you're not familiar with gray sheet, it's like the most common way that dealers at these things, if you're a collector of something else, like shoes, comic books, whatever, please comment what the best resource is for your hobby. But the gray sheet is something that dealers reference, and it's a great source for like prices in the market at the time. So piece dollars were killing it. You could buy a full set, or you can get about, let's see, they had rolls of 20, but in the plastic containers. They were decent condition piece dollars for around $750 to $800. So not terrible. I think melt at that time, a couple days ago, was about $37 and some change. So you're talking about $40 a piece dollar, and that's like really good condition ones ungraded if you were to buy all 20. But still, not bad, not a bad price. The next thing I saw sell for really good money. Lots of jewelry, lots of gems, lots of stuff like that. But what was interesting in my opinion was that, yeah, some people were buying like those $10,000 Rolexes or Cartier bracelets or those old school, old engagement rings and stuff from time beyond that are beautiful. But the thing that was selling the most would probably interest you, that like most of you that are just into making your own jewelry. Things that were made using real gemstones, real crystals, or people were buying like a junk old engagement ring to pop the diamonds out and repurpose them into more like artistic reimaginings. So those were killing the game. I even saw a diamond encrusted NFL helmet, like a little mini helmet that was $5,000 that someone bought. So it was kind of nuts, the stuff that was there that was not what I expected to be in the coin and banknote, show. So it goes to show that those mid-level jewelry pieces that were sitting around like maybe $300-400 for rings, bracelets, and kind of medallions, and upwards to the low 2000 region were really, really selling well, unless you're talking about like these wealthier folks or big investors or big collectors that are skipping right to those crazy items, which, yes, somebody bought that diamond encrusted NFL helmet. Now, the other thing selling, of course, that did well was bullion. Silver, gold, killing it. They're at an all-time high right now. Bars of any type, troy ounces, straight like raw poured bars, and then the big name ones like Englehart and stuff like that were selling for a high premium, way over melt. I think just due to the provenance of them. So if you have stuff like that, it is at an all-time high. If you're looking to sell, that was going on all day. Anyway, on to the banknotes. I thought that it was going to be bigger on the Federal Reserve stuff. Colonial notes, education notes, but colonial notes were everywhere. Confederate notes, old military notes, especially the handwritten ones or hand-stamped ones, which I have some cool videos coming out and working on for error notes from those, if you're interested, and regular error notes and counterfeits. But old colonial notes were ranging anywhere from a couple $100 and upwards of like $2-3 grand in some cases, and then there was a few, which I'll show a video of later, that were some oddball notes that literally they only know of maybe 2 or 3 in existence. Those were selling, of course, for a ridiculous amount. Now, the last thing I'll touch on too is other things were just general collectibles. At this show were a little bit limited, but things that were really popular were junk silver bags, old copper pennies, just bulk. So if you have that stuff, you're like, man, I got all these old pennies, I've built my collection, then know right now, people are paying top dollar for that. So that was selling really well. Let's get to what was not hot. So the main thing that wasn't hot there, I think, was novelty items. So I noticed that a lot of people were not into that. Right now, novelty items featuring like it's all these gold banknotes, commemorative, like, but not from the US Mint stuff, third party stuff that's not these high dollar bullion coins, we're just not doing well. So like the gold plated cartoon notes and little pendants and stuff like that, if you're getting into it, I'd kind of stay away from wasting your money on that. They weren't being sold and they weren't being bought, obviously. So if you just collect them, then awesome, do you. But they weren't a high ticket item. The other thing I noticed that really wasn't moving well, barber dimes, which I like, but sadly weren't moving too much. Regular federal banknotes were not moving too much. And then what else? Also off-brand, I think the market's kind of getting away from those third-party weird off-brand, it's Deadpool and Wolverine and Star Wars. Those silver rounds that have the markup due to those characters seem to not be moving. What was cool, though, is regular silver rounds, like I said, in bullion was going all day long. So I'd focus on going there or these 90% silver coins if you're going to invest. Anyhow, I won't bore you anymore. I'll put together a complete list into more of like a written form and article form on my website, VarietyErrors.com, which will break it down a little easier on what I saw in the last like 72 hours that was selling right from a convention. So it's not for me, it's just from what I saw being bought and sold. Heck, I saw a guy buy close to $80,000 in 10-ounce gold bars in about 5 seconds. So that was pretty wild. It was a serious show, one of the funnest ones I've been to. Well organized, clean, secure, and everyone, man, no matter what background, everyone was having such a good time. And it just reinforced, best hobby in the world. It's a room full of money and gold and diamonds. How could you be unhappy? Didn't matter. There was just money everywhere. And that's the greatest thing about this. It brings everybody together. Because who doesn't like collecting shiny things, right? Let me know what you think. And let me know what coin shows you're going to. I'll be in Florida at the Fun Show. I'll be in a couple others. I will put out just a post, so you don't have to listen to me gab about shows. But I'll put out a list of the shows that I'm going to be at going into the next year, and maybe I'll get to meet you. So let me know in the comments what you're looking at and looking for, and what you found in your collectible searches, and what you think. Let me know if you know anything else that people should be investing in. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.